It's even on. Well, where's my hat brigade when I need them? I expect them all to be up here. And while they're coming up here, in my rakish days, before people died, I've got to tell you a little Irish story as my group is coming up. They're all sitting around at a wake, and Casey said, you know, what do people, no, you guys come up here in the front, all lined up. All right. But we've got a great group of people here. Turn around, you face the audience, not me. I don't want to look at you. All right. I want Lee at one end and Allie at the other, the bookend. So we have, yeah, you go down at the other end. And Marcia, you go next to Allie. I want the beauty in, you know, on the outside, so these lecherous men will keep their hands off you. Okay. Everyone up here is volunteered to bring their favorite hat. And as you can see, or sometimes we call these head coverings. So everyone has got to tell us why they brought this hat. Marcia?
I just think that the best story for kids is the cat in the hat. So this is Dr. Seuss, or as my children call me, Softa. It's Softa in the hat.
Allie?
Mine is a happy hat, and we actually bought this at a Rotary meeting at the last Happy Hat presentation.
Just remember that all of you are going to be graded on your stories as well as your hats. Rick?
This is a construction hat, and you're trying to construct a better Rotary Club.
Bob?
These are profound thoughts. I recently got an email from a bishop in the United Methodist Church asking if I could help his niece get into DePaul University School of Law. I was forced to correct him and have him realize that DePaul is a small school in Indiana without a law school.
I can't tell you what a tragedy that is.
This is a Chinese hat. I'm going to wear that when I go next door to have the Japanese garden.
CPA to give us a story.
Well, this is the hat I got when I went to Scotland when I was Rotary president, and I found it in the closet, and I realized I never wore it. So I thought, to honor our president, wherever he happens to be, I'll wear it today.
There he is, over there. A UCLA hat. I wonder what school he went to.
Many of you know that the internet was invented here at UCLA by Professor Leonard Kleinrock. Well, it wasn't Al Gore, actually. And on the day that the first internet transmission was made, which I think was something like, "Watson, come here, please," Leonard Kleinrock was wearing a hat. And the hat he was wearing was this one, I think.
Okay, Mike Newman, the lawyers are well represented.
Well, this morning I was looking for this pink hat, and the pink hat says, "Thank you, John Singleton." Now that's a hat when he used to take the students skiing that he would hand out to all the cute girls. And I couldn't find the pink hat, so I found Goofy, and made me think of an actuarial.
A mortgage banker.
I wore this in honor of Ed and the ranch that he owns in Montana. A lot of you may not know that Ed actually owns a ranch in Montana. And there was a time he needed to hire a foreman for the ranch because he spends a lot of time in LA. So he put an ad on Craigslist, and this cowboy shows up to apply for the job. He happens to be a ventriloquist. Can I say that? Ventriloquist. So anyway, Ed says to him, you know, what are your qualifications? He says, let me ask some questions first, the cowboy says. Ed says, well, what would that be? He says, well, I'd like to talk to the dog. Ed says, the dog doesn't talk. He says, just leave it to me. So he says to the dog, how you doing? Dog says, doing all right. Ed is a little shocked by this response. He says to the dog, so tell me, how does he treat you? Dog says, real good. He walks me twice a day, feeds me great food, and takes me to the lake once a week to play. Ed's mouth drops open. I mean, he can't believe the dog can talk. He says, you mind if I ask the horse some questions? The horse doesn't talk either. It's all right. He says, hey, horse, how's it going? oh, well, cool. He says, how do you like this guy? You're the owner. He's your owner, right? He goes, yeah, how's he treat you? He says, pretty good. Takes me, thanks for asking. He rides me regularly, brushes me down often, and keeps me in the barn to protect me from the elements. Ed is absolutely awestruck. He can't believe this. Cowboy says to him, mind if I talk to the sheep? Ed says, no way, man,
Tom, what are you going to say?
Well, I'm a big country music fan, and about a month and a half ago, or 2 months ago, I took a trip down to Tennessee. One of my goals in life was to go to the Grand Ole Opry. So I protected this hat, got on the plane, made sure it was not amongst the luggage, and went in there. So we go down to the Grand Ole Opry and had tickets and reservations and all that kind of stuff. And I walked in there and I look around and there's nobody with any hats at all. There's not a single one, except for me. And so I thought in memory of that, so the worst experience we had down there was Grand Ole Opry. But nevertheless, that's why I wore it.
Mr. Block, what do you got to say?
Thank you, Past President Sean. I have a very short little song for President Ed. This is a story about a man named Ed, the poor actuary bear that kept his family fed. Then one night, all glittery and hoary, Ed wore this purple hat in all of its glory. Pimp, they said, Bordello Blues, paying Las Vegas dues. Happy New Year, Ed.
Eric? Eric here.
This hat has absolutely nothing to do with that golf. I just wear it because I like it. What do you think?
Dr. Newsom.
Smells good, doctor. I have no idea how I got talked into wearing this, but I did promise the dog he could have it back.
I got a call from Warren Buffett this morning. He informed me he was buying State Farm and firing all the agents, but he did say he had some good news. In recognition of my lifelong interest in model trains, he was promoting me to chief engineer at Burlington Northern Santa Fe.
Lenny.
Now, didn't your mother ever tell you that if you smoke, you're going to lose your height? Stood your growth.
Many of you may know in this room the name of this hat. I just found out New Year's Eve when a girlfriend of mine who sort of channels Audrey Hepburn bought me this hat as a present. It's called a Fascinator. I don't know if any of you know that. I didn't know that. It's a little mini hat, but it was my New Year's Eve celebration hat. I wore it all night, and I figured it was a good reason to celebrate the New Year. So.
Good. Yeah. Thank you. All right, you can all sit down. Now I need Rick Rouse and Marcia. Where's she at?
That's good.
All right. Hat change time.